Warning, the following video contains extreme amounts of anger and rage and should not be taken literally. The anger in this video has been amplified for comedic and parody purposes. The views and opinions expressed in this video do not represent Scott as a person. The video contains extreme amount of coarse language and content that some viewers may find offensive. With that being said, please sit the fuck back and enjoy this video.
Alright, time to play me some PlayStation. Yep. The fuck? What the fuck? Oh, hell no. Fuck this. This is shit. Where the hell am I going to start with this rant video? No, seriously, where the hell am I going to start with this? Australia is the biggest laughingstock of the world, whether it be from our slow-ass fucking internet. I'm looking at you, LNP, that's right. Or how every adult in this country is treated like a fucking child. That's right, I am talking about our beloved video games and its censorship. Yeah, that'll do. We'll just start there. Let me get some facts straight out of the way, shall I? That way we can continue this discussion of me yelling at the camera. 58% of Australians game. There is an average of 2 gamers in each gaming household. The average Australian household owns at least one dedicated game console, PC or smartphone. But most importantly, the average age of a gamer is between the age of 20 and 30. And that's worldwide, with only the average of 32% of those gamers being under the age of 18. And why is this important, you might ask? Because people still consider video games to be toys. Toys meant for children. With only 32% of the world's population being under the age of 18 who plays video games, where are these adults getting these toys for kids? The local fucking sex shop? Here, little Timmy, I got this for your birthday. It's a purple dildo. What the fuck? The video game industry has changed a lot since the 1970s. Back then, you would have your Atari. You'd have your entire family sitting around watching you play Frogger, or Frostbite, or hell, even E.T. But since then, those children have grown up. That same kid who would play Pac-Man on his Atari when he was a kid is now a 30-year-old adult looking at the video game industry as his form of entertainment. Because he grew up with that amazing technology. So for people to be out there who still believe that video games are toys, it's just fucking mind-blowing. Video game creators have a story to tell. Their stories are no different to movie creators or book writers. The only difference that I can see is that they use video games to get their stories across. They use the video game technology to get across their characters and their settings and their emotions. And that is where we get down to this nitty-gritty part of this rant. Movies and video games here in Australia have a classification system. For the people who don't know what that classification is, let me explain it to you. G. General. Contains material intended for general viewing. The content is very mild in content. PG. Parental guidance. This material may confuse or upset young children. It is not recommended for people under the age of 15 unless parental guidance is in attendance. This content is mild in impact. M. Mature. This content contains material that may require a mature perspective, but is not deemed strong enough for younger viewers. People under the age of 15 are allowed to view M-rated material as this is an advisory category. However, M-rated films are not recommended for viewers under this age. The content is considered moderate in impact. MA 15+. Mature restricted. Contains material that is considered unsuitable for persons under the age of 15. People under the age of 15 may only purchase, rent, exhibit, or view MA 15+ content under the supervision of an adult guardian. The content is strong in impact. R 18+. This contains material that is considered unsuitable for the viewing of persons under the age of 18. People under the age of 18 may not legally buy, rent, exhibit, or view 18+ material. The content is high in impact. And lastly, X-rated. Restricted. Contains material that is pornographic in nature. Blah, 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 blah. We don't have to talk about that unless we bring up Leisure Suit Larry. Okay. But the funny thing is, we never had an R rating on video games until 2012, and that's just ridiculous. What's more ludicrous is even though that we have an R rating on video games now, games still get banned or censored. Seriously, what the fuck? The whole video game rating in this system is a fucking joke. The R rating that we got back in 2012 was nothing but a big fuck you to every adult video gamer in Australia. It might sound like we did a good thing, campaigning for months and months and months to get this, but at the end it was all for fucking nothing. Since getting the R rating, we still continue to get games banned and censored in this country. So what use is an R rating if adults can't choose what they decide is entertainment? And what the really fucked up thing is, if a game is refused classification in this country, it is put on the Australian Customs and Borders Protection List. And what that means is, if you try bringing that game into this country, from a country that has an uncensored version, depending on how many copies you try to bring into this country, you can face up to fines of $110,000 fucking $1,000! That is just fucking ridiculous! But here's the really fucked up thing. If you can get the game into the country and not get caught, you are legally allowed to own, view, and play the games. Unless you're from Western Australia, which serves you right, you hillbilly shark killer motherfuckers. However, the only penalty is that you can't sell it. So if you can get it into the country, you can legally own it, but if you get caught, you legally can't have it. The fuck? So I've compiled a small list of things that I would like to talk about, as you can see here. Even if games are allowed in this country, they are still censored beyond belief. Games such as Manhunt 2, Mortal Kombat 9, 50 Cent's Bulletproof, BMX XXX, The Witcher 2, and fucking Saints Row 4! Saints Row 4 makes absolutely no sense to me. The same time that GTA 5 was allowed in this country completely uncensored, with its glorifying violence and sex, drug use, torture, full frontal sex scenes, Saints Row 4 got censored for two reasons. One, a weapon, which was later added back into the game due to fucked up DLC loopholes. DLC in this country doesn't have a rating, so people can actually just add back in the blocked content as DLC. The weapon in question was a rectifier weapon. It was a little purple dildo that you shoved up people's asses and then they shot off like rockets. And lastly, a cutscene involving one of your teammates using alien narcotics as a way to improve her superpowers. Oh, that's right, I didn't cover this, did I? The game is completely batshit fucking crazy. The game opens up with you being attacked by fucking aliens and you get stuck in a simulation. None of it is fucking real, and it's completely over the top with absolutely everything you do. I get superpowers! What part of that makes a child go, you know what? I'm going to wait for an alien invasion, take their alien narcotics, and run up a fucking building. Is everybody in Australia just fucking stupid? The other one that I failed to bring up earlier is Left 4 Dead 2. That is still a sore spot on me. The original Left 4 Dead game was completely uncensored here, and the second game is almost exactly the same, but just with different characters and new maps. It is a game where you have to survive the zombie apocalypse. Now let me get that through to your head. Zombie apocalypse! Meaning, the enemies are not fucking real! But it was censored here in this country due to the glorified amounts of violence in the game. At the end of the day, the game was released here in Australia with a very watered down version. There was no blood, decapitations, the enemies would disappear as soon as they hit the ground, and the biggest fuck you to Australia, 2 of the enemies were actually removed from the game, causing the game to crash anytime you played it with anybody that had the uncensored version. That's not a game, that's a fucking dummy in my mouth. Here, you're Australian? What doesn't make any sense to me is that we've seen zombies in countless horror movies, but all of a sudden, if I do it in a virtual game and I beat the shit out of a zombie, it's considered illegal? Man, fuck that! Most recently that caused this rant was South Park, The Stick of Truth. The game is censored in most European countries, with 7 scenes being removed from the game, 2 of which contain abortions and 5 of which contain alien probes. Now, even though it's only just 2 minutes of the game removed, it's still fucking ridiculous when you come to think of the fact that the show is still aired in Australia under an MA rating. Even the box sets that are uncensored are MA rated. But this game is coming out as R and still fucking censored? Seriously, what the fuck? Seriously, how does that make sense? How does the Australian government believe that it has the right to tell me, as a 28-year-old of sane-minded body adult, what I can and can't play in my own fucking house? I know right from wrong. I know what is real and what is not real. And like most adults in this country, I know what I'm playing is a fucking video game. The game and the show are made for adults. The humor in the show and the game is made for adults. So why does the Australian government believe they have a right to fucking babysit us? Our government is treating us like children, and as I mentioned before, the average age of a gamer is like 30 years old, and games since then have matured to meet that target. Games are not toys anymore. They're interactive entertainment. Entertainment not unlike books and movies. Speaking of books, why can I not play a game made specifically for adults, but Target and Kmart and every other fucking bookstore in the world can sell S&M porn to fucking children? Scott, books don't have a rating system because they're just books. What? So let me get this fucking straight. I can't play a South Park video game made for adults, but every fucking child on the planet could buy fucking 50 Shades of Grey? That's fucking bullshit! But Scott, games are interactive, so they would more affect you as a person, and we need to censor them so that you know, you don't go out and copy them. Bitch, do I look like a fucking American to you? Do I carry guns around me going, come at me, bro, come at me, bro? I know what is real and what is not. I know as a 28-year-old adult that what I am playing is violence inside of a video game. It's not fucking something to be copied. Besides, if games created violence, then explain to me what fucking video games were around in the Roman times. If everybody copied what they saw in video games, explain to me why my parents and your parents aren't running around little neon lit rooms eating fucking pills and fucking sucking down ghosts. Well, maybe your parents are, but people with fucking brain cells don't run around popping pills and eating ghosts. I don't have anywhere else to go. Am I out of shot?
No.
Oops. That argument is a pathetic excuse to try to justify how fucked up people are. How about taking some fucking responsibility for your own actions, huh? If you're a parent and you buy little Timmy the latest Grand Theft Auto, which has a legally required R rating sticker on it for good fucking reasons, and then, you know, little 12-year-old Timmy goes out and starts fucking hookers and blowing up people with flamethrowers and just causing mayhem because you couldn't teach them right from wrong, what is real and what is not real, then it's your fucking fault. It's not Rockstar's fault, it's not a gaming community's fault, it's yours! Look, I know there are mentally unstable people out there who will see these scenes in video games and want to go out and recreate them. That's not the developer's fault, and that's not the gaming communities as a whole's fault. Not all gamers are like that. As I covered before, 58% of Australia games, and I don't see 58% of Australia going out and robbing banks because they saw it on GTA. I don't see people going out and murdering people because they played Mortal Kombat. No, these sick people were already going to go hurt people because the little voices in their head said it was a good idea. The only reason that people blame video games is because it's a quick and easy way to blame somebody else for your problems, instead of fixing the real issues. Getting these sick people help. And getting sick people help isn't something that rich people like to do out of the kindness of their own heart. I'm looking at you, Tony Abbott. But back on track. Australia begged and cried for years to get an R rating for video games because they believed that they were going to be able to view the content that the rest of the world was already receiving. They believed as adults that they were able to view the content that these game creators poured years of their lives into making, only to have it stripped away from them at the last fucking second like some cruel joke. As an adult, I do believe that children should be controlled in what they view and eased into what is reality and what is fiction. But then again, I also believe that there is content made specifically for adults. Porn comes to mind. So why can't there be video games for adults? Restrict the games as much as you like, but at least give the adults the ability to view the content if they so wish. The fact that games like Grand Theft Auto were allowed in this country completely uncensored with its sex and violence and drug use, but games like Left 4 Dead were completely censored in this country is just fucking mind-blowing. The parents who are buying these horrific games for these children, even after seeing the warning labels on the front of the game, even being told by the staff of the counter, because they're too pathetic and stupid to say no to little Timmy, are causing the gaming community to get in shit from not just non-gamers, but the media as well. These parents are not giving a shit about the health and safety of their children, and in turn are breeding these psychopaths, because they just don't care enough to teach them right from wrong, good from bad, and more importantly, the power of the word no. Just makes gaming unsafe for everyone. This leads to an out-of-date, overused and biased rating system that just doesn't work. But kids still obtain these R-rated games, and the government knows that. So that means that us gamers are left out in the cold because a few fucking mothers needed to shut their brats up for 10 fucking seconds. This needs to change. I am sick of being treated like a child. I'm a 28-year-old adult and I deserve the respect to be able to decide what I believe is entertainment. I can do it with movies. I can do it with books. So why the fuck can't I do it with video games? So either change the rating system to be more fair, or lift the fine for importing these goods. Because if the Australian government won't accept money from a 28-year-old sane mind and body adult, I'll find a country that will.
Hi, ScottNBNP here. As always, like or dislike this video, leave some positive or negative feedback in the comment section below, and as always, thanks for the support. Because I'm a fucking moron and forgot to record an outro.